In this video, I want to cover that what you think about, you become. What you think about is something that defines you as a person, and also it will carve out your future. Let me give you an example. My brother and I, we used to work out together. So I would discuss bodybuilding, Mr. Olympia, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Flex Wheeler, because that was on our minds. Okay, so that was what influenced us. Okay, even though he went on to study politics, but still, that was his motives. That was his happiness. And if we talk about the good memories, good old days, we always resort to Arnold Schwarzenegger with his mind games, with Louis Ferrigno backstage aggro. We always refer to those good old days when we were working out. Okay, what you think about is what's going to carve your destiny or define you at that moment. If you show me any rich white person or any rich black person, they're not going to be thinking about politics unless they think about economics and how they're going to increase their wealth. They're never looking at disadvantaged. They're never looking at those who haven't got any. Why should they? Out of sight, out of mind. When you are living in opulence and you have your own private airport, aeroplane, cruise ships, the last thing on your mind is to look for poor people. That's the last thing on your mind. Okay, what you think about is what as a result of what you become, which means they must have been thinking about wealth. And when they get together with other white people or other black people, the same thing they talk about is money. Or where have you been on holiday? They compete to see who's got the biggest yacht, who's got the best car. You can guarantee racism is not even on their minds. That is tokenism to keep you happy or to remind you to buy their next or to watch their next movie. They gotta keep their punters happy, so they have to pretend that they're still aware, they're still down. But when it comes down to it, you're not going to knock on their mansion door and have a cup of tea, with your familiar self. They're not about that. Right? When rich people, white and blacks, come together, they're not talking about racism. That doesn't even cross their minds. In fact, they probably can't even relate to it. When you're living sun, sea, and sand and eating oysters and drinking champagne, you can't pretend you're angry. You can't pretend the government is not looking after you. You talk about what you have in your present environment. You talk about God's goodness and how He has blessed you if you happen to be a prosperity preacher and following that motivational message. But still always on economics, still always on money. They haven't got time to discuss racism. That's for you. That's for you. You're in your condition, brainwashed, not to think about money, but you're brainwashed to think negativity. You're brainwashed to listen to destructive music. You're brainwashed to not want anything better for your life. You're brainwashed to believe that this is all you got now, the negative ghetto and nothing else. You're brainwashed to believe that you got nothing else to look forward to in the future. And this is how you define yourself. There's things you think about and talk about. Hence, you will never wake up positively and says, this is what I want to do today. This is how I want to change my life. Because that kind of mindset has never been introduced to you. So it's foreign to you. It's not foreign to a black person who's a millionaire who rubs shoulders with other white millionaires. They don't want to tell you their secret, how they become successful. They don't want you to know. You know, the part of their secret is to create disorder amongst poor blacks and poor whites. You know, so the rich, the power, the wealth remain at the top. Keep you angry with, you know, there's so many things that, you know, they can do in order to stop you from looking to where, you know, you should be looking at it to begin with as to why you're poor. You know, so when I see Beyonce doing the stance, you know, the Black Panther movement, this is a woman who's a multi-millionaire. Where does her anger come from? It's like a beautiful woman who's been chatted up all her life, and a fat woman who's never had a guy chat her up before. Yet the beautiful woman act like she's shy and you know, it's the fat woman that should be shy. Never had a man chat up in her life before. Yet the most beautiful woman, you know, I can't relate to it. Of course you can. All your life you've had men throw themselves at you. You're used to it. You know no other way. You got men open the doors when they see you because you're beautiful. You have men offering to pay your food, pay your bills because you're beautiful. You know no other way, which is why some of you are arrogant with your beautiful looks. Well, same as rich black people. You're surrounded by wealth. You're surrounded by money. That's all you ever know. You got your own cinemas, your own swimming pool. Never having to worry where the next food's coming from. And you're telling me you're angry? You're lying to me. You're playing games with dumb black people. Louis Farrakhan, he lives in a mansion. You know, he eats well. He wears beautiful, fine clothes. You know, he lives in the old Nation of Islam building, which transferred into a mansion. Why is he angry for? He's got plenty of food. He's lived to his 94 years old. He's lived a good life. Why all that screaming and shouting? You know, next 5 years, he'll be dead. Next 5 years, he's lived a good life. Then his son will end up shouting and screaming till he lives 100 years old. It's a scam. They live in a white life, beautiful life. They haven't knew think about racism. You know, and that's why many black people can't get anywhere. Because we're thinking of race, not realizing it's a game that they're playing with you. Give you religion and give you racism. You're obsessed with religion and you're obsessed with racism, and that's why you can't get anywhere. Wake up before it's too late.